we're 6 games down and we got 6 to go. About some mid-season report card grades here.
All right.
On the offensive line.
D. You know,
D.
you played D like dog. Yeah. No, and look, my students knew when I taught, I'm a hard grader, but fair. You know, I will say that. But yeah, you know, so you run the ball well against Bethune, cool. That Southern Miss game took 6 hours. My God, the game time of that game was 6 hours and 18 minutes. That's crazy. Well, anyways, I think that might be a typo. Anyways, but yeah, you go through there, but you kind of.
What game is this?
Southern Miss. It says the game time was 6 hours, 18 minutes. I don't remember it being that long, but whatever. But that was okay. You have some injuries and things like that, but you know, you played probably your best game in the loss at Texas A&M. Atrocious against Middle Tennessee, bad against North Carolina, and probably average at absolute best, probably leaning a little bit bad in the Virginia Tech game. Now, I know that they're doing well or better in pass protection and things like that. I know that they are rotating guys in, but it's clearly not where it needs to be. I think that your offensive line MVPs are probably going to be John Campbell and Jalen Rivers, the left side of the line. But, you know, I was critical about Justice Oluwase's play. And I think that that's with a specific reason because it wasn't that good. Ja'Kai Clark was average, but then he gets hurt. Jonathan Dennis coming in as a backup center, I think has been a clear step back from Ja'Kai Clark. So you're talking about below average. DJ Scaife at right tackle, he's been below average. He's miscast as a tackle. He needs to be a guard for sure. And then, you know, he had a bunch of false starts. Now, if you want to talk about the false starts being Scaife's fault against Virginia Tech for not getting it right, or Jonathan Dennis, the new center, for not being on the same snap count that Ja'Kai Clark was on and being fraction late, and that caused somebody else to false start. Either way, performance has not been good. So for me, this so far this year, the offensive line, D, like dog.
Wasn't the Southern Miss game delayed? Wasn't there a delay to that game? Not for 3 hours, but
there was. It was it was before the game started. Really? It was like 30 minutes or something. Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe they're counting when it should have kicked off.
But still, it shouldn't.
It still wasn't that long. No.
Right. Yeah. It still wasn't that long.
I remember the end of that game. It wasn't 6 o'clock.
Right.
In the afternoon.
Right.
Running back room.
Running back, yeah, disappointed, honestly. C- probably. And that has a lot to do with injuries. And then also the failings of the offensive line because, since game 3, Charles Johnson's correct. The run game has been non-existent. But yeah, I mean, it starts with Trevante Citizen's season-ending injury before the season. I was really expecting him to be a foundational guy in this run game. He's so talented that, I mean, there was a chance that he could have started throughout the course of this year, but Jalen Knighton has not been great. He's fumbled way too much, and he's not really done things enough with the chances he's gotten. Henry Parrish has been pretty good. Henry Parrish is probably the MVP so far. Thad Franklin's played well, but you know, we're not even using him the right way in the red zone and things like that. Because, yeah, I mean, if you want to play 3 yards in a cloud of dust, you got two dudes who are under 200 pounds, or you got a 245 pounder. Which one would you put in there? You know what I mean? So yeah, for all of those reasons, I'm like CC-, not really great at all.
Tyler Van Dyke's kind of a great unto himself as the quarterback, with Jake Garcia just playing a little mop up. So
yeah,
quarterback.
It's almost like he's had 2 seasons so far, because what we were running is not like what we were running for the first 4 games is not what we're running in the last 2 games from a passing standpoint, from a schematic standpoint, even. But he did end up hitting some throws against Middle Tennessee just because we said, hey, we're down by 3 scores. We got to start chucking it. So even if you want to say, okay, the last 3 games, just the first 3 games. Yeah, but I mean, he's been a little off on his accuracy early, but I think that's definitely clearing up now that we're running things that he's more comfortable with, because you see he's kind of mismatched with the offense for the first 3 games. But yeah, he's playing really well the last 3. I know that the numbers are slightly inflated from Middle Tennessee just because we got down so much that was just hey, you got to throw the ball. But yeah, the last 2 weeks, I think we're seeing who Tyler Van Dyke actually is. Demetrius Abrams, what's up, bro? Good to see you. And I think that this is a performance that doesn't put him back in the first round of the draft, but it's like, oh, okay, like we weren't crazy for saying or for expecting to see this dude at quarterback again this year. So I would say the first quarter of the year, the first 3 games, I would give Tyler probably like a C- D+. For the last 3 games, inclusive of, Middle Tennessee, probably a BB+. Not perfect, but a damn sight better and much more like the player that we know him to be. And very excited if he can continue that kind of play throughout the rest of the year. I think that Miami can be successful. And let us not forget that I do not believe that quarterback wins are a stat. Now, sure, he threw a ball at the end of the North Carolina game that got intercepted. And that was the last play, offensive play of the game and things like that. It was not solely on him that happened that way, right? So, yeah, would you like to see a better play or something from, then the grade would have changed. But I don't think the quarterback wins are a stat. I think it's a holistic team stat because we win and we lose together, right? But yeah, so, hey.
I'm a big believer in that. I get sick of seeing the quarterback stat. You know what? I don't necessarily get sick of seeing quarterback statistics, and you see it more on the NFL level than you do during college games where you'll see Tom Brady's record is this in his career. You see this for no other player, though, no other position player. So if you're going to do it, I would like to see, like at one point in his career, well, after his career, and it still exists, I believe, to this day, Pete Rose has played in more winning baseball games than anybody in history. So, yeah, he played obviously some great baseball for a long, long time and on some great teams.
Yeah.
But tons of guys contributed. I would love to see that statistic for everyone, just like any other statistic. What's Braxton Berrios's record in games? I would like, not that they should be evaluated on that, but everybody contributes to the win or the loss. And then we can make our judgment as to whether this is a really, really good player playing on a bad team or vice versa.
Yeah.
So let's make our way to the
receivers.
The offense, correct? No, we got the receivers. Yes.
Yeah. So receivers, including tight end. C. You know, like there were so many just times we're talking about drop balls coming back. We're talking about, like looking for guys to make plays, even guys who have started to make plays like a Frank Ladson. Colby Young got his shot this year because Frank Ladson didn't play to his 6'4" height, right? Because we threw him a jump ball. He's playing small. I made that Scott Mitchell analogy of somebody with a frame and not using it to that great effect. And he wasn't able to go up there and go get that thing. So he said, hey, Colby, go do that. And then he went and did that, right? So, that even opened the door for somebody to come in. And then you're obviously talking about injuries because Will Mallory's out, Xavier Strepo's out, Elijah Arroyo's out, and things like that. So you've seen a lot of injuries contribute to the inconsistency at the position. So, leaves a lot to be desired. And I know that part of that also was there were some throws that Tyler wasn't as accurate on early as you would have liked. I know, I'm not saying that, like the right hand washes the left hand, guys, but that doesn't inform that. So yeah, definitely substandard from what I'm expecting, with a couple bright spots, but still, like about a C.